So hello, welcome to Sheffield Board Gamers Podcast. My name is Rick. I'm joined today by Samuel. Hello, Samuel.
Hi, Rick.
Hello, this is episode 68. We're going to talk about some of the board games that we've been playing recently. We've got a question of the week, which is, do you sleeve any of your games? Or do you sleeve cards in your games? But before that, I played some card games at work. One of my friends, we were on a break, so we weren't playing during work time. We were on a break, and we'd got 10 or 15 minutes. And one of my friends had got a deck of cards, and it's one of these, like when you go away, you can get like packs of cards, like souvenir cards for a couple of euros. It's one of those decks. So he got that out, and he says, "Oh, what games do you know?" And he says, "Oh, I know Pontoon." So get to 21. Stick or twist, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we played that a little bit, but obviously there's not much. We weren't keeping score, or there's no betting on it or anything like that. So I said, "Oh, do you know how to play German whist?" And I just happened to know this because a couple of months ago we went on holiday. Me and Tracy went away, and we played this. We played this there, and it's a 2-player trick-taking game that you can play with just like a normal deck of cards. So I showed him how to play German whist, and we had a couple of rounds of that. That was good fun, and we had a score at the end, which was all right. Passed on 10 minutes, so it's nice. I thought it was good to mention because it's nice to have like a little game like that in your back pocket, just in case you've got a deck of cards kind of laying around.
Yeah,
a lot of people will know how to play, Snap or 21 or something like that, but quite often maybe not anything more advanced than that. So it was.
Yeah.
It was good to sort of
one or two over the years.
Yeah, and that got me thinking. There were two of us, so obviously we just picked a 2-player game. But I guess if you had a deck of cards, you could play. And there were more players, you could play something like Skull, for example, because you'd just need like 3 black cards and a red card each. And it doesn't matter about the suit, doesn't matter about the number that's on there, the rank, and just or give everybody an ace or something. Just something that's unique, and you could play that. I'm guessing there's probably loads of other games that you could play as well.
You'd need something for the marking how many you won, but that's straightforward.
Yeah.
Over another card, I guess, or something.
Yeah, I know how to play. I know how to play Texas Hold'em, but you need betting chips for that. You need some kind of tokens or chips or something for betting.
Yeah.
So that's not really suitable if you just got a deck of cards. Yeah. So yeah, it was a good experience, and I taught him how to play a new game, which I quite enjoyed.
Yes, I do know 1 or 2 card games. I've played Canadian Rummy quite a lot, so I used to play that.
Oh, okay.
Which is Rummy, but you can take as many cards as you want from the discard pile. You get to see them all, and you can take a certain point, so you get all of those cards. So you want to make loads of sets of 3 or whatever at once, but you've got lots of cards possibly in your hand.
Yeah,
it was quite fun.
And can you play that 2-player? Is that a 2-player?
Yeah, you can play that 2-player as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to look that one up then. Yeah.
And it's funny you should mention Pontoon, because I kickstarted a game called 21X, which is Pontoon or Blackjack or whatever you want to call it, but with a maths twist. So you're trying to make 21, but a lot of the cards will have X on them, and the idea is that you'll get some cards, and you're trying to you can choose a value for X. I think it has to be a positive. Well, I don't even know if it has to be integer actually, but it's got to be a positive number. I think there's levels you can play something. The basic level is a positive integer, with the idea of trying to get to as close to 21 as possible. Although you're not allowed to score 20 because that's too easy to do.
Right.
And then you've also got things like N, which is the number of cards you have, and you can add one or two more complicated things as well.
Right.
Which, if you like maths, like I do, it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
I've got 3 cards, so when he's got me 3 of them, I need to do this and that. But now I've got 3x and n and 6, and I've got to make that and n minus x. So I've got to make that equal 21 somehow. What x do I need? And you try to do that before anybody else can do it. You do this in real time, so you can in real time choose to stick or draw another card if you want.
Right.
And you're trying to make 21 first. Or as close to as you can.
That sounds a nice little twist. I'm surprised there's not more like games like that. I know there's trick taking's big at the moment. There's a lot of trick taking games coming out.
Obviously not trick taking exactly.
And there was that. There's the gang. I don't know if you've seen that. That's like a poker one where you're betting on
the crew, but not the gang.
Yeah, it's like it's similar to the crew, I think, but it's like a poker hands rather than trick taking.
Okay.
You're kind of betting on how your hand compares to everybody else's hand and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised there's not more sort of those classics, like you say, like Pontoon and stuff that have been either used as mechanics in games or have had a little twist on them. And maybe there are, maybe there's loads out there and I just don't know about them, but maybe it'd be interesting to find out, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many games that you don't need to not know about. Things or subsets or parts of it, I guess.
Yeah. So what have you been up to? Have you been up to anything recently?
Sort of nothing in the immediate past, but a little while ago I did go to Aircon Northwest for a day.
Is that the Manchester one?
In Manchester, yeah. Bumped into Tom and Polly were there as well, so played a few games with them. Yeah. It's quite nice. Yeah. It was a nice sort of well as a day trip because you can go on the train and it's a 5-minute walk from Manchester Oxford Road. Yeah, pretty straightforward. And it's really small, so a day is plenty long enough to see all the stalls about. You could probably see all the stalls about 10 times.
Did you go last year?
I didn't. No, it was the first time I've been.
Right. Okay. I went last year, but I've not been to this one. But I was just wondering how it compared, whether it was bigger or smaller.
I didn't go last year, so I don't know. It's all in one sort of big area.
Right, but it wasn't massive. Yeah, when I was there.
Yeah. So it was quite good fun. And I didn't buy the games, 2 or 3 little expansions and things like that. But
did they have the library there again? There was
I had the library. Yeah, we played at least one game from the library. No, 2 or 3 games actually, probably from the library.
Yeah, that's always pretty good.
There was no bring and buy, but they did have a Sotheby's kind of auction thing where there were lots that you could bid on. But it was quite disappointing because there were about 12 lots or 15 lots.
Yeah.
Most of them had multiple games, but it was very, very sparse. I was sort of expecting a lot more than that. So that was a bit disappointing. So I didn't end up bidding on anything. I thought I might do, but not sure. So it was a bit.
So did you just go for the one day then?
Yeah, just one day. There and back on. It was the Saturday I went.
Yeah.
I was thinking about going on the Friday, but the main stores, or whatever, weren't open on the Fridays. They were just have been for gaming.
Yeah.
If I hadn't bumped into anybody I knew, it might have been a bit awkward trying to find games. Right. Could have been sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah. Well, I found it okay because I went on my own last year, and they have the lightsabers where you can up a game and get people to join you as long as you don't mind playing with strangers. People.
Yeah, I mean that would be fine. It's just sort of there's a bit of a gamble about am I going to find a game? And that kind of thing. Yeah. And if I just went on the Saturday, I could get a cheaper ticket as well. It was like half the price.
Oh, okay.
I didn't need to get like a full Friday, Saturday ticket. I could just get a Saturday one, so it made it a lot cheaper. Yeah. Of course, going for one day means you don't need to stay over in a hotel, so that makes for us being where we are located, it's quite easy.
Did they have the food stalls around the outside again?
They didn't have any food stalls. There was a little kind of food place you could go to that had toasted sandwiches and crisps and things like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I don't know that there were any food.
Right.
Any specific.
They did these really nice Korean like rice bowls when I went, and they were really good.
I didn't notice them, and I wasn't looking for them because it's not my kind of food.
Okay. Yeah. I was just wondering. Yeah.
But nice, plenty of space to play, and tables were.
Yeah, the aircon ones are usually pretty good, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, quite nice. Quite a good one if you want a smaller convention and don't like the crowds of UKG or even aircon. It was much, there were.
Yeah, it's not as huge as the other ones, is it?
Not even that.
But still enough people to fill it up, to fill that big hole up, and
there was a fair few spaces on the tables, but it was reasonably busy, I think. Yeah. You could certainly.
Did you bump into any celebrities? Anybody that you recognised?
Tom and Polly. No famous people as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
I don't think on the stalls. No.
Okie dokie. Shall we go into some of the games that we played recently then? So very recently for us, only a couple of days ago, we both played Magical Athlete, but not the same game.
Yes.
We we played this at the club.
I brought a copy and Matt brought a copy.
Matt, that was it. Sorry, it was Matt. Yeah, that we played and you played yours. So we had 2 tables next to each other, both playing Magical Athlete.
Yeah,
which was
I
fun.
planned to bring my copy, and then Matt said he was bringing his copy, and so I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll bring mine anyway.
Yeah.
So
I think it plays up to 6, doesn't it?
Yeah, we had
full games. So that was that was really good. Yeah. So
it's just been re-released, this version.
Yeah, it's a reprint of an older game, so it's quite an old game. But they've done that thing where they've kind of refreshed it and given it new artwork and tidied it up.
Richard Garfield of Magic the Gathering fame was involved in that.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he's been involved with it, hasn't he? In sort of play testing it, and I think they've added some more powers in there and things like that as well.
Quite possibly
a bit more modern. But basically, it's a racing game. You draft an athlete. Well, they're not really athletes in this one. They're kind of like cartoon characters. I must say the artwork's really nice.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Colourful.
It's a nice. It's kind of retro, isn't it? It's got like
there is a bit of retro in there. It's nice.
It looks a bit like Hanna-Barbera cartoon or like Beatles Yellow Submarine type style, something like that, with all these wacky characters. So you're drafting a cartoon character, and each character's got their own special ability, all completely different.
Yeah.
Some affect other players, so they might trip up other players, or they might slow them down, or do something when they roll a certain number, or it might affect you, in which case it might make you move faster or slower, or it might give you a boost if you roll a certain number, or there's all sorts of different things that are in there. So everybody drafts 4, because there are going to be 4 races. There are 4 characters, so there are going to be 4 races. So you pick your first character and you put them all on the grid, and then you race around by rolling a dice. So each player rolls a dice, and you move forward that many spaces, and then something might happen depending on which characters you pass, or your special ability, or whatever it might be. And then the next person clockwise rolls a dice and moves their character, and again, special powers might go off. There's a couple of special powers on the board. Sometimes if you land on a certain space, you'll get like an extra bonus point. Sometimes it'll trip you up, so you have to spend sort of a turn recovering and standing back up again. Some squares push you forward a little bit, some push you back a little bit. So it's complete chaos. It's just roll the dice, keep going around and see what happens. And eventually one of the characters will win, either by elimination or by getting to the end of the track first, and then you get a few points, and then you reset it, and then you go into your next race. It's a bit of a strange one, this, because it is a roll and move, and I think it does show its age a little bit. It's a little bit, just see what happened. But the chaos and the fun of it is in the chaos and the picking of the characters and just seeing what they do, and what happens when you actually roll those dice, because it is so random and it is so wacky in what happens that you can't predict what's going to happen. So you just end up cheering on, you're cheering on with the other ones, and then laughing when the other people get tripped up, or if they get pushed back, you're like, yes, come on, big baby, come on, big baby.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of cheering and a lot of fun had. Took about an hour, I think, to play.
Yeah, your game took longer because I think you took the drafting a lot more seriously.
Well, we were planning out the strategies and working out which ones were best.
Whereas I think a lot of people on our table just kind of going, "Oh, I like the look of that one, I love that one, I like the cat."
Exactly. Just pick one and play with it. But we had timing discussions about when things happen when and things like that. So it did. But once you've got over that, once you've answered the questions, it's kind of just roll a dice and do something.
Yeah.
So it was good fun. It's surprisingly fun. It kind of falls into that category of challenges for me, where I won't necessarily pick it, but I'd be happy to play it. It's one of those games where you kind of just roll with it and see what happens, and if you do well, you do well. If you don't, then you can blame it on the dice or blame it on the the poor character choice. But it's good fun. It's good. Yeah, it gets everybody up and shouting, and
yeah. It's certainly a game where the result isn't super important, and it's more about the playing. But there is quite a bit of luck. But there's a lot of different combinations of characters you can end up with in the race, which could change all kinds of different things.
Yeah. There were some. There were a few characters that even though we played 2 games side by side, that we didn't even use.
Yeah.
that people wanted to try.
Some didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think once we'd finished, if we had enough time, if it was one of those games where we had enough, those days we had enough time, we probably would have gone again and picked the other characters and
Yeah.
see how they play. Yeah, but it's good fun. It was good. I enjoyed it. Like I say, nice components, nice big chunky meeples that are like printed with the characters and everything.
Yeah, you think you wouldn't.
So yeah, I had a good time.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. It was good fun. Very silly. I feel like a bit of a silly racing game. It's definitely.
Okay. What have you been playing this month? Who you played?
I have played Forest Shuffle. Which I've played quite a few times now. Which is a card game wherein you're trying to score the most points by building a forest. So you have trees, and then you put animals on the tops and bottoms and sides of the trees using these sort of clever split cards. So you can pick either side of it or the top or the bottom, depending which way around it's split. And you're trying to get synergies and things. So you could have, foxes that score points off hares, or you might have butterflies that score points off a set, and then other things that score points off butterflies or insects or birds that score points in different ways. Which is a sort of game mechanic I really like, trying to combine things and get, that card's perfect for me, I want that one. It goes there, that makes my score much better, kind of a thing. But in terms of gameplay, it's extremely simple, because on your turn, you either play a card and pay the cost with other cards from your hand, or draw 2 cards, which can either be from this sort of central display of cards, or drawn randomly from the deck. That's the rules, basically. And you keep that until you've drawn the third of the 3 winter is coming cards, and then the game finishes immediately, and you score up. So it's very simple to teach and to learn. And then it's sort of, I just find it really nice to play, because there's sort of a lot of trying to get things done before the game finishes, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to play this now. Oh no, but I won that card. I need to play stuff.
Yeah, it's nice finding those synergies of like the cards that work together, and trying to maximise your points you're going to get out of the stuff that you're actually collecting. That you're putting down. And I love that mechanic where you pay for the stuff out of your hand as well.
Yeah,
like the better cards that score more points, so you have to discard stuff out of your hand and it goes to the middle. You might get it back, but the middle clears after if it's too full of cards. So
10 or more cards,
potentially you might lose,
and somebody else might take them. Of course, it's always quite interesting. You're going to throw away something I want as well.
Yeah, it's always really difficult to pick what you want to discard, because they're all good.
I'm thinking, I don't want to discard any of these cards. I need all of them.
But, did you just play the base game?
The most recent time I did. I have got 3 expansions now, because I bought another one at Aircon.
All right, okay.
I've got Woodland Edge, the mountain one that I forgot the name of, and the new one that I can't remember the name of at all, which adds a solo mode, asymmetric caves, or slightly asymmetric caves, and some new promo cards for the main deck.
Oh, okay.
Including a Christmas tree, and a few other things like that. Nothing too out of the ordinary, but so that's quite nice. They're definitely worth picking up. They add 0 complexity; it's just more cards and more interactions. Although do beware that there was some misprinting with one of them, so if you get the wrong ones, the cards are slightly differently sized and slightly differently coloured. Although, to be fair, I have the differently sized and coloured ones, and you can barely tell. The colour certainly is not noticeable. And when you shuffle in the deck, you can't tell the different size really, so it's not a major issue. A more annoying issue is that, despite the fact the expansions came out very quickly, they completely didn't future-proof the game. So in the base game, there are things, for example, there are 5 butterflies types, and so they've got, if you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 butterflies, then they introduced more butterflies in the expansions, and now you can got 6 or 7 butterflies and then 8 butterflies.
Right.
And things like they haven't really future-proofed that, or some cards in the base game refer to having all 8 tree species in your forest. The expansions add more tree species.
Right.
Now I've got to have all 8. Well, there are 10. So do I need all 10? Yeah. Do I need just 8?
Yeah.
I've house ruled as just 8, personally, because that doesn't make it any harder to get, well, maybe slightly easier to get 8 tree species because there are more of them.
Yeah.
There's a few things like that which is just slightly irritating. But hopefully if they reprint the base game, they'll change it.
There were some complaints in the base game that it wasn't exactly balanced. There were certain strategies that just were miles better than the others. Have you found any of that if you've played the base game?
I've only played just the base game once.
Right.
It's the most recent one, and so I haven't had a chance to really do that.
Okay. But apparently the expansions kind of fix that. They kind of balance everything out.
From playing an expansion several times, it didn't seem too unbalanced towards any one particular thing. I've scored lots of points in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, and it's a big deck of cards. It's a huge deck, and when you start playing, you think, "Oh, it's going to take ages." But when you start actually building up your engine and drawing cards, it does kind of go pretty quickly, doesn't it?
It does. It can go quicker than you think. I mean, you can obviously be drawing from the middle. So I've had a few 2-player games where we sort of neither person wants the game to end. So just keep drawing cards from the middle and putting them back down again to try and play everything in our hand we want to play. Although it was slightly aided by the fact that I'd done the end shuffle slightly wrong, because you're supposed to just the ending 3 ending cards go in the bottom third of the deck, and you put one on top of that third, then shuffle your 2 into it. Whereas I'd been splitting the bottom third into thirds and then shuffling one of them into each third.
Oh, okay.
So, which
probably not that much of a difference.
It wasn't my copy. It wasn't me. Might change it a bit.
I did find I've played it a couple of times 2-player as well. And I find that you need quite a big table for 2 players because you get a lot of stuff.
It does. It is an incredibly spready game because of the way the trees go. Generally, you can only have one thing on each tree, but there are exceptions to that. There's the stinging nettle, that means you can put as many butterflies as you want. And there are a few things, notably the hares, that can share spaces.
Yeah.
But yes, I've had quite the range of scores as well, because when I've been playing 2-player, I've been getting 300, 400, 500 points. And then when I played the base game, most recently I got 24 points.
Right.
Which is the lowest I've ever scored by a factor of about 8.
Yeah, so sometimes you can just go for something and it just doesn't work out, I think.
Because we got the 3 game fishing cards came out like the top, well, I mean, it was a quarter of the bottom third of the deck or something. It was ridiculous. They all came out very quickly. I was like, well, never mind. I've got like 6 cards I wanted to put down, but never mind.
Yeah, I've definitely started off with a card that said collect so many things or a certain number of things. Yeah. And I thought, oh, I'm going for that, and then I'll go for it, and then none will turn up or somebody else will pick them up. So yeah, I've had it before where I guess at that point you just try and change your strategy and do something different. But
I perhaps should have focused a bit more on one thing rather than trying to go for several different combinations.
Right. Yeah.
Should just have gone for.
But it's good. I enjoyed my plays of it. Yeah.
Really nice game. Very much become one of my favourites. Very much my kind of thing. So I'll play a lot.
Yeah, we'll have to play with the expansion one time then with the extra expansions.
I'll bring it in.
That sounds good.
I'm sure.
Okay, so my next game is Star Wars Battle of Hoth. So this is another kind of re-implementation of an existing game. Have you played Memoir 44 before?
I might have played it once with a friend at Treehouse.
Oh, okay.
And I played a war game, which I think was Memoir 44, but I'm not quite sure.
Okay. It's a 2-player World War II based game, so it's you can play it with more players if you have like bigger maps and more some of the expansions and stuff, but I think the base game is just like a 2-player game. But a Star Wars Battle of Hoth is basically Memoir 44, but just rethemed to Star Wars, specifically Empire Strikes Back. So it's a hex grid. Yep. And you have terrain tiles on there, so you've got different types of terrain like hills and crevices and impassable sort of crystals that you plop down. And then you have these really nice plastic figures for your troops. So the rebel side has their troops, and they have like defense turrets and snow speeders, and then the Empire has their probe droids, and they have AT-ATs, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So you've got a plastic AT-AT that stomps around the battlefield. So you have a selection of scenarios in the book. So you set up the map depending on what the battle says. Put your troops out in starting positions, and then you have a couple of decks of cards. So each player has their own deck of cards that you sort of shuffle up, and that'll tell you what troops you can move and how far they can, how many they can attack, and sometimes you might have like special ones that are in there as well. So you'll be playing cards, moving your troops forward, and trying to complete the objective of whatever the map is. So the objectives usually are just destroying the other side, so you'll get a point for each unit of the other side that you'll destroy. But sometimes you'll have objectives that you can try and go for. So sometimes like a certain building will be worth a point if you're occupying it. In one game, the AT-ATs are worth 2 points instead of just one.
Okay.
Because nobody wants to report to Lord Vader that they've lost an AT-AT, so everybody's like really careful to hang on to it. So if you lose it, you're going to give away 2 points to the other side. So it's quite thematic in that way. But the fun of it is kind of reenacting the game, and we kind of played this. We just played it all night. The battles themselves are fairly quick. It's like 30-40 minutes to play one of the scenarios. So we put some Star Wars music on. We told Alexa to play some Star Wars music, and we just played this all night. And we just played scenario. I think we got up to about 6. So I played the first sort of 6 scenarios, and some of them are more defensive. So you have kind of a battle line that you're trying to defend, and the other side's attacking. Some of them you just go head to head. Some of them are more offensive, where you're trying to, like I said, take out the AT-AT if it's worth a lot of points, or capture a certain position or something. So. It was really good. It is dice based when you're doing the attacking, so it can be a bit tricky because of the dice. A bit luck based. The snow speeders are really good. They'll zip all over the map, and they roll 4 dice when they attack, so they're really powerful. But you've only got 2 in each unit, so it can only take 2 hits. And if you're rolling a couple of dice, and you roll 2 hits, then basically they're wiped off the board, so you kind of lose them. So there is that kind of luck element of the dice of where it's going, but it is quite well balanced. We did find that in quite a lot of the scenarios, either side could have won on the next turn, just to get that last point and sort of push it over the edge. So I don't think Memoir 44 is quite as balanced because they're more historically based battles. So you will get certain ones where you've got an overwhelming force and you just have to sort of hang out as much as you can. But these did seem to be quite well balanced on each side. So there are a few slight differences between this and the other game. The map's a little bit smaller. You get some leader cards at the start, so you can, if you're on the Rebel side, for example, you've got 3 cards for Princess Leia, 3 for Luke Skywalker, and 3 for Han Solo. So you can shuffle one of those. You pick one, so you might pick Luke Skywalker and shuffle his cards into the deck, and they'll give you like a special boon or a special ability. And the other side has like Darth Vader and a couple of other leaders as well that you can put in there. And it's just dying for expansions. I'm just I've got my fingers crossed that they'll release more maps and more units and more cards and things. There's plenty in the box as it is. There's plenty of sort of scenarios to go out. It's like, so we played it all night and got through probably about half. I don't know how many's in the box. I don't know how many of these total scenarios, but we played 5 or 6 of them in one go. So my friend's a big Star Wars fan, so he absolutely loved it. He had a great time. But we had a good fun playing it. That's Star Wars Battle of Hoth.
Okay. Well, my next game is one I played at the club a month and a half ago, something like that, and then promptly found and bought a Kickstarter version of because I enjoyed it a lot. And that is a game that came out this year called Etherstone, which is a card drafting and engine building and dice selection sort of game where you're competing to try and score the most points by building the best engine, I suppose. You'll start the game by drafting a 7-card hand that you will then have for the whole game. In sort of standard drafting mechanic, take one, pass them on. And then you'll choose one of 2 leaders that you will get dealt. Trying to draft cards from pick a leader, trying to find cards that work together. And then on your turn, you will either play a card from your hand by paying the resource cost, or you will draft a dice, which will give you some resources and might trigger things on some of your cards that you played. Or you can attack monsters, which is one of the main ways of scoring points, if you've got enough strength. They're the 3 main things you can do. You can also rest because when you attack, your things you've used apart from your leader will get tapped, to use Magic the Gathering terminology, once we turn sideways, so you can rest to put them back up again, although there are plenty of other card effects that will allow you to rewrite them as well. And then your leader has a health dial as well, and if you die, then you have to spend a turn going back to full health, and you take a token that means that's worth -7 points at the end of the game.
Okay.
Which is actually quite a bit when the winning scores have been no more than about 30. So get a couple of those and you're a bit screwed, possibly.
Yeah.
It could be quite bad. So there's quite a lot of cards that you can attack other players with and make them lose health. You might lose health from attacking monsters as well if you put your leader into battle. But yes, so you're trying to put up sort of cards that will synergize and then sort of do things. So if I draft this dice, it's a 3, so I can do this power and that power and do this and do that and get these extra resources and stuff. And so you're trying to sort of draft this engine that you've not draft. You're trying to draft an engine at the start of the game and then put it into play during the game, which I quite enjoy. There's quite a big deck of cards that you'll draft, so you probably play 3 games without seeing the same cards. Even if you're playing a full player count of 4, 70, 80 cards in that deck. So there's quite a lot of options. In terms of other games, it's similar, probably most similar to Res Arcana, where you're drafting their cards at the start of the game, and then you're playing them out. Unlike Res Arcana, you have all of your cards all the time, because in Res Arcana you have a little deck and you have to draw from them, so you get them in a random order. Whereas in this one, you start with all of them. At least you have 7, not the 8 of Res Arcana. But yes, it's got really nice artwork as well.
It does look nice. Yeah, I'm just having a look at the photos now on BGG. Yeah, it looks awesome.
I've got the Kickstarter version, so the tokens are all nice and wooden and stuff, and there's some metal coins.
Oh wow,
which is really nice. I mean, you can play it in an hour probably. Maybe a little longer if it's a first game. Quicker if it's a 2-player.
Do your decks kind of have like a synergy that works together? Is it just like a case of just playing attacks out, or do you have kind of like, I'm the discard, so I discard loads of cards, or I'm the attacker, so I do loads of attacks? Is there anything like that, or is it just like
not really? You don't have a well, you're drafting your set of 7 cards at the start of the game, so it depends what leaders you get and what cards are in the draft.
Right.
Anything as to what you might end up going for. Look at your sort of opening set of 7 cards in your leaders and go, maybe I'll try. Okay, that card goes quite well with it. Maybe we'll try that strategy and get this hand of like, maybe that's not going to work because there's no cards like that in that hand.
It does look good. Yeah, it looks.
There's a lot of sort of.
It looks like that, just kind of that card battling game that I like say Res Arcana or something where you kind of just going backwards and forwards and playing
cards or drafting. The turns are generally very quick. It's got a nice sort of satisfying thing where you get the right combos. Like, I can draft that dice and it triggers all of my things. So this is nice. Right, I can get we drafting cards like, that's a 4 and a 5. That needs a 4 and a 5. That needs a 4 and a 5. Excellent. If I get a 4 and a 5, I can do all sorts. That kind of stuff where you can. These ones will work together nicely, which is again something I very much like in games. So it was much when it was Mike that watched the club when we played twice that evening. Almost the same evening, I think, actually.
Well, speaking of then, that's a glowing endorsement, isn't it? If you're playing it after you've played it,
weeks ago, played it again.
It looks like it looks good. I'd quite like to have got that one. Because
again, I'm sure I'll be bringing that again at some point. It will be.
I do like those kind of sort of card battling games. So
I mean, you're not battling each other. You're kind of battling a central set of monsters, but there's plenty of ways to attack it and to sort of hurt each other and that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
The first game I played, I had put a card into play early on, and when anybody else attacked a monster, they took an extra damage.
Yeah.
Which was quite annoying. There's all kinds of things like that. Trigger powers that you can trigger to make people take damage. That kind of stuff. Right. If I draft a dice with a 4, you will take some damage. No, that was Etherstone.
Cool. Okay. Any other games that you've played, or should we move on to our?
Let's move on to the question of the week, I think.
Okay, so question of the week is sleeving cards. Do you sleeve your cards in your games? Tell me, Samuel, why would you want to sleeve your cards? Well, what possible advantage could that give you?
Well, I think the main advantage is that it protects them. So if it's a game where the cards are going to get a lot of shuffling or a lot of wear and tear from use, then it can be quite good. So, for example. I've sleeved Robo Rally because the cards get shuffled multiple times a game, like a dozen times a game probably, because you go for the deck lots of times. So that was sort of very good. That's going to get a lot of wear and tear on it.
Yeah. I did play somebody's copy of Citadels once. I don't know if it's probably a while ago now, but in that you've got a deck of building cards, but you've also got a small deck of character cards.
Yeah.
And the character cards get shuffled every round and dealt out to everybody, and they were absolutely wrecked. They were all split, and like all the corners were peeling and stuff. The building ones were fine because obviously you don't handle those as much, you don't shuffle as much.
And then,
but it's a similar sort of thing, isn't it? Like you might have some cards that are fine that you don't handle as much, and some that you do, and kind of you want to keep them the same.
It's also quite good for places like the Treehouse or a board gaming cafe where the cards are going to get handled a lot more because the games will get played a lot more. I've actually come across games at the Treehouse that have been handled so much the card sleeves have been damaged. They cards have been handled that much as sleeves and it's still got sleeves falling off. Cards Against Humanity, for example, would be a good example of that. And I think they do try and replace them from time to time, but that's another example where they'll get handled a lot.
So you do have to be careful because obviously not all cards are the same size.
Yes.
Some are slightly different, and even though they might look like just like a normal card size, because I can remember I bought some sleeves once for Dominion. I think there's like 500 cards in Dominion.
Yeah.
So I bought some sleeves, and I discovered they're not standard sort of Magic the Gathering size. They're slightly smaller.
Oh, no.
So I did actually use those for something else, but so it wasn't complete waste. But you get those little mini Euro cards, and sometimes you get big tarot size cards.
Yeah,
but you can actually get sleeves for more or less any size, can't you?
You can these days. There's one or two games I've had that sort of like, well, if you've got that size cards, Ex Libris had some slightly overly sized cards that were sort of between the small size and the big size. I did get sleeves for them, but it was a bit odd.
There are a couple of standard sort of sizes. I know the mini ones are similar to the Pokemon cards, and
there's the US standard, there's the European standard, there's the just sort of
and then obviously you got your Magic the Gathering size, which is like just normal
that kind of
playing cards kind of size.
A few like that. Tarot sized was another fairly common one.
Yeah, I did actually get some square ones first. I don't know if you played Augustus, Rise of Rome, but that has like square.
You can get square
cards. Yeah, so there were some square ones that I got for that one.
Yes.
It is an extra expense, though, isn't it? It's an extra.
Yes, I was going to say, one reason to not sleeve is because it costs a lot. There are a few games that I haven't sleeved, like Sentinels of the Multiverse that we played at the club a couple of weeks ago, and a few other things where there's just so many cards. They don't really get used enough to warrant the sleeving, and it would cost ridiculous. It would cost twice as much as it cost me to play the game to just sleeve them all, because there's so many hundred cards. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
In certain cases, or Millennium Blades is the one I've got bloody hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cards for, which I'm not going to sleeve because there's just no point. It would cost far too much.
So it's good for preserving the value of the game as well. If you're playing on, so if you don't know whether you're going to keep it or not, and if you just want to move it on later on, you can always take the sleeves off, can't you? And the cards are sort of pretty much pristine. Then if you want to sort of sell the game on or move it on, or if it's like an old game that you want to sort of preserve, if it's out of print, or like an old game that you want to keep, you want to keep it nice and fresh, and keep the cards as they are.
Yep. Another area, actually, just thinking about it, where card sleeving is very big, is Magic the Gathering and all that. Flexible card games, and the 2-player battle games. Whenever people play that, they're always sleeved.
Yeah,
different colour sleeves, for different decks and things. They're always sleeved. It's sort of basically the rule. I think that those ones come in sleeves. But there's decisions to make about whether you do or you don't sleeve. The cost is one. So.
If it's like a common game, if it's like a game that's still in print, that's always going to be in print, like Ticket to Ride or something like that, that
maybe not so necessary.
You could always buy another copy of it, so it's not going to be that much of an issue.
Could do,
but sometimes you get like older games that you want to keep. So sometimes the card quality is not that great in games as well. Sometimes the cards are a bit thin, or they're not quite, they don't quite match up to.
That can
a lot of play. I know I've played Cat in the Box a few times. Have you played that?
Yeah.
The cards have got like a black kind of matte finish. Mm-hmm. They're black on the borders all the way around. And after a couple of plays, I could see that they were kind of chipping a little bit, and you could see some of the white coming through the corners. Where people try and pick them up off the table.
Yeah.
Get your nails under it, and it kind of pulls the card a little bit.
Yeah, that's the main way they get damaged, I think, when you're trying to get them off the table.
It was a fairly new game, and even just after a couple of plays, the cards were starting to sort of show these white bits on the edges where they should be black.
Yeah.
So sometimes I've got a game where the cards are quite thin and not very good quality. So I've sleeved those because it makes it a bit nicer to play and a bit nicer to handle. And hopefully, like I said, preserve the sleeves a little bit if you're playing it a lot. I think shuffling, if you're shuffling sleeved cards, that makes it a lot easier as well. I find that shuffling sleeved cards is a lot easier, and I can get it more randomly sort of shuffled than not. And I know you're pretty good at shuffling. You can do the riffle shuffle and stuff like that.
There's also then the question of sort of which quality of sleeve would you want to go for as well? Because there's sort of penny sleeves
I have
really cheap and a bit rubbish. But you can
I
get
have had some
more ones,
terrible
premium
sleeves.
ones, double premium. Which brand do you go from?
Yeah,
I've got all mine from, I think they're like Mayfair or something, which I've got from Board Game Extras. The premium ones I go for, which are all absolutely fun.
Yeah, but the premium sleeves are better quality and they're thicker, but they do tend to cost a little bit more as well, don't they?
Yeah, but I decided it's kind of worth it. I want some, I'm going to be using these games.
Yeah, have you ever used those penny sleeves, the really cheap ones?
I haven't personally, but I have played one or two things that have,
they're horrible.
That's been in them, and they are a bit rubbish.
Yeah, even just playing. I mean, even if you've got a lot of cards to sleeve, I wouldn't use those because it just feels really cheap and horrible, and they don't fit very well, and
not good.
Yeah, so you definitely get better quality cards the more you pay for it, but yeah, there are definitely different quality levels there. Have you seen those? You can get sleeves for boards as well. The actual board itself.
Oh right, okay.
You can kind of get like covers for that as well.
Okay.
To protect your boards from sort of people bashing
I haven't seen
into it.
Ones for boards. I've seen tiles sleeve before.
Oh right, yeah.
Secret Hitler. I've seen the Secret Hitler kind of cards sleeved once.
Right.
It's okay, but not seen a sleeve for a board. Don't think.
Yeah, I've seen some people as well. This is kind of more on the protection kind of side and looking after your game. Sometimes, where you kind of on the bottom of a box, you have like cellophane all the way around.
Yeah,
I've seen some people where they kind of cut around the cellophane and leave the cellophane like on the lid of the box, like on the top of the box.
Okay.
So you look at the shelves and it all looks like brand new games, but they are actually open. They've just left the cellophane on.
Yeah,
and that kind of protects from like corner wear and wearing the edge of the boxes and stuff.
I've got shelf boxes that are a bit shelf warm. They're games I play a lot, or I'm not likely to get rid of, so it's fine.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, so, some of mine are sun faded as well. Where the sun's shown.
That's
particularly like the yellow kind of colours. Like I think the Splendor box that I've got is probably, I don't know, it might be about 10 years old now, but it's definitely faded on one side where the kind of light's been hitting it. It's definitely noticeable. I don't know if keeping the cellophane on will actually affect that, but I know some companies now aren't even wrapping them in cellophane. Now they're getting away from plastic a lot, so they just put those stickers on the boxes and stuff. I've had it before as well where the sleeves kind of get sticky as well, so I don't know if this is because they've been worn or they've had something spilt on them maybe, but sometimes, when you get a deck of sleeves cards, sometimes they kind of stick together.
Yes.
So if you're shuffling or if you're trying to sort of draw one off the top of the deck, they kind of stick. Have you seen that before?
Yeah, and a problem with that in somebody's prototype about 2 weeks ago, the cards were sticking together because the sleeves were quite poor.
Yeah, I don't know what causes that, whether it's just play or whether it's something that's actually
in the mate. I don't know, it might be the type of sleeve a bit. I don't quite know.
The type of sleeves, yeah. I
can't imagine it's something spilt on it because I think it happens more often than that to be viable. It's usually it's usually the type of sleeve rather than individual sleeves or random specific sleeves in a pack or whatever. It could be there's humidity or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Some games come with sleeves. So I think some of the bigger Kickstarter ones, sometimes they'll sell sleeves as like optional extras, and they'll be like themed to the custom sleeves to the game. Yeah,
Etherstone that I was talking about earlier had that, which the version I played originally, Mike had got the custom sleeves for it. Mine didn't come with those though.
Yeah, because you can have like the printed. Sometimes you have like printed stuff on the back, don't you? Not just like a plain clear sleeve. Sometimes you have like an image on the back or like some kind of identifier. So they're pretty good for like if you've got different decks. If you need to keep track of like different types of cards,
Yeah.
You might have some cards for the players and some cards for the monsters or something, and you don't want to use the same card sleeves. You can kind of mix and match them.
Yeah. Yes, one thing we've not touched on is that you can obviously get clear sleeves and you can get matte sleeves with coloured backs or whatever as well.
Yeah,
that's one sort of debate we've not even touched on.
Yeah, I do like the matte ones. The matte ones are quite good.
Yeah, all mine are clear. I think. I got some matte ones when I was playing Netrunner, and some different colours for that, so I can.
Tell the matte ones are good because they're not as shiny as the normal ones. So if you've got light shining on the thing, they're not quite as reflective. So I do like those.
Make it a bit tricky.
Yeah, I do like those type of ones. Yeah. I did buy. What did I buy now? Lovecraft Letter.
Oh yeah.
That comes with some. It's got like tarot-sized cards, the kind of bigger cards, and that came with sleeves. So that wasn't a Kickstarter or anything. That's just how the retail edition comes. It was just like a really nice production. It came with like plastic chips for the scoring and stuff, but that actually came with sleeves.
Yeah,
and they're really nice, kind of like printed sleeves that
fit the
cards really well. And they do throw in a couple of spares as well. So I guess, like you're saying, if you play a game a lot and a couple split, or if it does
that's
get
quite
damaged,
useful because obviously it's going to be hard to find those specific sleeves again.
Yeah, it's way out of print now. So
buy some more.
If anything happens to one of those sleeves, I'll be knackered.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's good that they chucked a couple of spare ones in there as well.
Yeah.
What about the? There are some games now where you just get an empty sleeve and that's part of the game, and you kind of build the card within the sleeve.
Like Canvas, for example, would be one.
Yeah, like a card building.
I've got Mystic Veil.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so you have a blank sleeve and you add like clear cards in it, and it kind of builds up the card, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How you find those sleeves holding up? Are they kind of okay?
They seem to be okay. Yeah, they're quite robust.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good.
I mean, I've only played it half a dozen times or something, so
yeah,
you're not going to be,
Yeah, I played a pirate game, which was a similar sort of thing. You kind of built your cards up and did that, and like you say, Canvas, you sort of adding different artwork in out you to build your kind of different cards. So I guess it's a similar sort of thing there. If something happens to one of the sleeves, then you're one card down.
I don't know.
Difficult to replace, I guess.
If my version's got spare sleeves, it might have. I'd have to check. I can't remember.
So that's all I can think of about card sleeves.
I think so.
I think I'm kind of the same as you, really. I've got some games that are sleeved that I play quite a lot, or that you can get sleeves pretty easily for. But I've got quite a lot of games where it's just not worth it, or there's too many cards, or I don't play them enough that it warrants get the extra sleeves, or maybe they've got odd sizes or something that's more difficult to get hold of. So it's not really. Not really an issue.
Yeah, as you just said, I'm the same. I've got things like Robo Rally where I've gone. Yeah, that definitely wants sleeving because there's not. There's 80 cards or something. So it's not 200 cards over. So it's not. Not very expensive to do that. But they're going to get shoveled a lot. And then there's games like Murdy and Blades where there's bloody thousands of cards or hundreds and whatever cards, which would cost a lot to sleeve, and you're not going to be using. You only use some of them in one game, so it's not worth. It's just not worth sleeving it for the amount it would cost. Which I think is probably the main reasons for not sleeving.
I guess part of it depends on how you treat your games as well. If you just play your games at home with family, and you play on a nice clean table and everybody's washed their hands and everything.
That's true. That's the other reason, perhaps, for card sleeves as well that we haven't mentioned in case anything spills on them.
Yeah, we take and play our games at the club, don't we? So sometimes the tables are a bit sticky, and sometimes people are.
Yeah, we have boards, so that's generally fine. But
you got other people kind of playing with your games as well that you don't necessarily know where they've had their hands and things like that. So maybe sleeving cards is good for that kind of thing as well. But it's not a necessary thing. I don't think most of the time it's probably
not necessary.
It's just one of those nice things to have if it's if it's possible to do that, then it's just a nice extra bonus.
Plenty of people don't sleeve games. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
As we've just said, where are you going to use them? Who's going to play them? How often are you going to play them?
Yeah,
a lot of things to consider when you're going to sleeve.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've played old games that have been well loved, and the cards are sort of well worn and everything, and still had a great time with it, and still, don't play any differently. So yeah, definitely. Cool. Okay. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up then. Thank you very much for coming on, Samuel, and talking to me. It's been good talking to you again.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. It's been nice to talk to you again.
We've been the Sheffield Board Gamers. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Goodbye for now.
Ta-ra.